Hi everyone and welcome. You're watching Chai with Chaitanya. I am Chaitanya. This is a place where I talk about books, movies and fandom, and today I will be reviewing Cece Rios and the Desert of the Souls by Kaela Rivera. I was sent in this advanced reviews copy by HarperCollins USA, and this is my non-spoiler review, so let's just get right into this. Middle grade fantasy novel, we get to meet Cece Rios, who you can also see on the cover. Now, Cece is unlike most fantasy protagonists that you would meet. She is fierce, strong, and very confident of her own choices right from the very first page. And unlike most fantasy readers that I'm used to, that's usually not the case. And Cece belongs and comes from this small town of Tierra del Sol, which has this month called the Criatura month, wherein all the criaturas come out. Now, what are the criaturas? Now, the criaturas are basically these monsters slash spirits, and they have these animal-like features, but they are also partly like humans, and they are basically mythological characters which has been drawn from the Mexican American influence and mythological folklore. I do believe, and only people who can control the criaturas are the brujas. Now, it's obviously that because the Criatura month is on, everybody wants their kids and themselves to stay at home at night. But it just so happens that Juana, who's the elder sister of Cece, she gets kidnapped by one of the most darkest and the most oldest and the most powerful Criatura in the history of Criaturas. And now it's only up upon Cece to actually go and bring her back. So if Cece is to bring Juana back, she has to become a Bruja, because without being a Bruja, she cannot enter the world of the Criaturas, and that is something that she's not sure if she wants to be. Whether Cece actually becomes a Bruja, whether she's able to control the Criatura, or whether she's able to go ahead and bring her sister back from this powerful and old Criatura or not, it's something that you have to discover for yourself. But I will tell you more about this book and what I felt about it. So first up, I would want to talk about the world building and the writing. So the world building done in here is really great, and I, for that matter, have read a couple of sand-based fantasies, but they mostly have been YA. For example, Rebel of the Sand and City of Brass, and I am yet to read An Ember in the Ashes, as well as We Hunt the Flame. So I fairly know that how these desert-based fantasies work. But what really struck out for me in this book was the fact that the Mexican American influence that it has, and there is a lot of folklore and mythology, as I also mentioned earlier, is there in this book, and the author has taken inspiration from them and she's given it her own twist, which works for me, because again, I first of all, I'm not very well versed with the Mexican American folklore, so for me everything that came in here was very new, so I cannot really identify that how different it is from the actual text. But I can definitely say that I did enjoy myself, and I did found the glossary section which is given at the end of the book to be very helpful, so because it gave me a lot of insights. Also, another thing that I really enjoyed about the world building was the fact that how it was very effortless, and the author did not really have to go on describing long paragraphs or just giving us a lot of context. It just was very atmospheric and lyrical, which is something that I was not expecting from a middle grade novel, but it just happened to give me, and I was pleasantly surprised. Another thing that I really enjoyed about the world building was the fact that how these characters, which is the criaturas specifically, which is basically the magical beings, they were all very different from one another, and they were almost like characters, you can say, and each one of these people had very distinct voices, and they had their own backstories, which really made the criaturas very well developed and very well nuanced characters. And now talking a little about the writing, because it's a middle grade novel, so I think the author has made it an effort to keep it very simple, but at no point would you feel that you're reading a book which is for younger audience, because I personally do not read a lot of middle grade novel, but yet when I read, I make sure that I pick up the ones which do not really are just for kids. It was so effortless and it felt so simple and very easy to consume and very easy to read. Next thing I want to talk about is the characters. Now, Cece Rios as a character, as a main protagonist to follow, is extremely wonderful. She's all those things that I want to read in a good character, and I was rooting for her and for the criaturas and for, getting Juana back at all times. Um, Even the side characters who are basically criaturas, as well as her parents and her Tia and Tia Katrina and also Juana, they all had some very important and crucial roles to play, and one can see that how each one of those interlinked and became a crucial part of Cece's story. Next up, I want to talk about the themes that have been explored in here. So there is this general theme that goes around that how the criaturas are observed by the naked men or the humans, and how they've always been feared. Whereas when you actually go and meet them, you see that yes, there are a lot of criaturas who are very powerful and they're very dangerous, but then there are also criaturas who are sort of not exactly the prototype of how humans have posed them to be. So it naturally opens up the conversations around the fact that how we need to take a step back, pause, let the other person, show us who they are, and talk to them, and just be kind and generous, which Cece is, all of these things. And then you would get to see that who the real person is. So I think all of us make judgments first, and then we, based on those judgments and prejudice and stereotypes, we go ahead and do our work. And this book is just here to tell you that, just stop making those presumptions and judgments, and hold those stereotypes against people, because people are just people. And in this case, we talk about criaturas. Then you also have the Brujas, and how the abuse of Brujas and the power, and what it means to be a Bruja, and how difficult Brujas are for the criaturas has also been explored. So that is to do with how identity and power can become very intermingled, which is also explored not very deeply, but in the story of Tia Katrina. And you also get to see that how Cece, in a lot of ways, she redefines what it means to be a Bruja, and she redefines that how friendship, love, generosity and kindness can sort of bridge all gaps and fill all holes between that exists in the world. Next up, there is also this very positive representation of female siblinghood that I genuinely enjoyed. I haven't read a lot of siblinghood based stories, and whenever I have read, they are usually between a brother and a sister, but rarely have I come across between between two brothers or between two sisters, and this was just a refreshing change. The love between Juana and Cece, specifically Cece's love for Juana, because everything that she does it for Juana. So Juana, in a lot of ways, is the catalyst to Cece's journey to go on this whole adventure, and that just made me feel very strongly about Cece's character, because she was filled with love. Another very important and perhaps the final thing that I really enjoyed myself, which is also one of the major theme in this book, is of friendship and love. Now you get to meet a lot of these criaturas, and this is not exactly a spoiler, you get to meet a lot of these criaturas who are not exactly the prototype of the criaturas what the naked man have believed so far, and you get to see that how Cece sort of develops some sort of equation with them, and you get to see that how on her journey, and how when she gets to know each one of them, and how when each one of them gets to know Cece, you have this banter, and you have this feeling and sense of coming together with the same purpose and becoming a group, becoming friends, and just going from there. So I enjoyed myself thoroughly, and my final verdict of this book is that I gave it a 5 stars. Yes, it has one or two flaws here and there, and that is to say that at times I felt that the story was just dragging, and it could have easily been cut short 50 or 60 pages, and the story would have still felt very very refreshing, very different, very amazing to read. But again, that is not something that kept me away from enjoying the book that it was. So I gave it a 5 stars despite of the flaws it has. And for a debut novel, this is amazing. The voice that Kyla Rivera has given to these characters are very beautiful to read, and you're going to be falling in love with them absolutely without a doubt. Just about it for this one. So do go ahead and check this book out. It released on the 13th of April, and if you're somebody who loves reading fantasy, or if you're you're somebody who doesn't mind reading and picking up a middle grade fiction, then you are in for a ride. Also, if you know somebody young, then this is a great choice for gifting. If you have also read some middle grade books and if you have loved them, then definitely do let me know down in the comment section. I would love to check them out. You guys already know the drill. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, which would be down there, and that really helps me keep going and growing. And all my socials will be down in the description box. Go ahead and check them out, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.